Okay, so we're going to look at a couple more ways to select elements in this video. So previously we have selected, for example, all the paragraphs on a page, or we've said find the main element and go inside it and find the H2 element. And in this video, we're going to start talking about classes. And classes are a way to say, this is an H2, but it's also this kind of H2, okay? So a class is like a category or a type, and we use it to be more descriptive about our elements when we need to, okay? So here's an example. Here's my home page. This is an H2, okay? And I'm just kind of working on a little portfolio site. And a lot of times on portfolio sites on the home page, we have this big statement of what the person does, or kind of who they are. Okay, so I've used an H2, that makes sense here. I've also got a little about page going, and on this about page I also have an H2. And this would be a heading that would be more like about me. So I'm going to do about me. All right, so the issue here is that I want this H2 to look different than this H2. I want this H2 to be big and special, okay? So if I write a rule that says find the main section, go inside it, find the H2, let's say that I'm gonna style my one on the home page and I want it to be really special. So this will be the rare case. I'll do text align center. I'm going to give it like a funny color. I'll just make it red for now. Be kind of ugly. And I'm going to give it a border bottom, 2 pixels dashed. And I'm also going to make it big. So I'm going to make it, for now I'm just going to say 48 pixels. That's pretty big. All right. So not beautiful by any means. But you get the idea that on this page, we're going to have this really big statement, right? Now, if I go to my about page, this actually doesn't look terrible, but my idea is that I want this to look more just like a regular heading, right? It's not this big, huge statement. It's just a heading, okay? So I need a way to point to this H2 that's inside my main, but not this H2 that's inside my main. So what I can do is I can add a class attribute to this H2. And I can say that this is a, let's say, we'll call it a summary, okay? What kind of H2? This is a summary H2. Now I can target that using the dot selector. So this says find the main section, go inside it, find the H2 that has class summary. Okay, so the dot means has class, and it goes without spaces right here. So now if we look back, we've got our summary H2 here, and if we go to our about page, we're back to our normal H2, and that's a little bit more like what we want. So you can put classes on any element, okay? I can put a class on my body element if I want to. And a lot of times that's actually a good idea if I have different pages on my site. So I can say maybe like, okay, what kind of page is this? Oh, well, this is an article page maybe, or this is a project page. And then I can have my elements look different on those pages, okay? The thing to remember is I don't want to put a class on everything, right? I want to start broad and work my way in. So this is my H1. It's my site title, basically, right? It's inside my header, okay? I could put a class on it, right? What class is this? It's class title. But there's no reason for me to do that because there's only ever going to be an H1 inside my header. So I can just select header space H1, and that keeps my code simpler. It just keeps everything streamlined. There's just less to deal with. So anytime you find yourself adding classes and classes and classes, step back and ask yourself whether you actually need to do that or whether you can select something through where it is. Okay, another example of that is I have ULs all over this page, right? I have ULs in my header, I have ULs in my footer, and I have a UL in my main section that is my project UL. And eventually this is going to be a grid. So this UL I could always select through the header space UL. Same here, footer space UL. This UL I might actually want to put a class on. So I might say that what kind of UL is this? This is my project's UL. And I would do that because I might have other just regular unordered lists in my main section, and I'm going to want this one to eventually be special. Okay, so the other thing that you need to know about classes is that there's also an attribute called ID, okay? And ID we do just like we do class. So I could say this is, oh, I don't know, this is homepage 9, okay? IDs are to, they're not to specify a kind of thing, okay? So like what kind of H2 is this? This is a summary. I might actually have summaries all over my website, right? Or I might have multiple IDs. The idea is that there's only going to be one of them, okay? So we, in this class, we almost never use them, okay? But if you were running, say, like a newspaper, you might put an ID on the body of every article so that you could specify kind of one-off things for just that article, okay? And then when we write, so I'm going to put this back. This is body, we're just going to call this home 9 for now, home 9. So if I select the body that has ID home 9, and just like dot is class, the pound sign is ID, I could maybe set a special background color for just this page. Okay, so now none of my other pages would have that background color. Okay, so that is classes and IDs and how to select them, when to use them. The main thing to remember is we want to use these as sparingly as we can. It's fine to use them when you need to. It's a major part of web development. You will use classes frequently, but think about, do I need a class here? Do I not? And then when we use a class, we want to reuse that class. Okay, so if I style this UL class projects, and then I have another kind of I repeat this structure somewhere else, right? So this is going to maybe be a grid of projects, right? 3 across. Anytime I want to have that, I want to reuse this class so that I'm not rewriting my CSS over and over again. I'm just referencing this thing that I've already created, this class. So we'll do a demo video that covers that.